Creating a blob storage. So this demo is an example where I'll give you an idea. How do you create a storage service called Azure Storage Account? That's something I'll walk you through. And followed by that, into that storage account, how do you create something called container where you can host your particular application into it? Then how do you go and you can find out if something is not right with your storage? Then how do you find a feature called monitoring where you can monitor the performances of it? I'll show you. Now we'll now understand on how do you create a storage service for storing binary data like video, text, or audio. To create a storage, you can go to create a resource. In the popular, the last option it is storage account. Excuse me. Create a resource and storage account you can pick up. Now subscription, it's Visual Studio Enterprise 1. Resource group, I'll create new, name it as storage hyphen or underscore RG, storage RG, I name it. Now storage name, Kishore storage demo, I'll name it. A random name, Kishore storage demo. Location, let it be whatever the other things whichever you have, keep them default. Now I'll click this review plus create button, which directly creates a storage account. So validation is passed. I'll click create button to create my storage. Will we be charged if we have static IP versus dynamic? Yes, Sai, the charge of a static IP could be little, let's say slightly costlier than a dynamic IP. So slight variation of charge you will have. You're welcome. See, my storage service is now getting created. Now on clicking this go to resource, you can see a storage account service. This is how it looks like, where you can see now file share can be created from here, or the containers where you can store videos or audios you can have from here. So we'll go to containers, this one, containers. See, I can click on this create, there is plus container button to create a container. And a container is not a Docker container, this is a folder. In here, logically, it's a folder, an option which you can use for creating a folder. So if I click plus container, we can give a name. I'll say, let's say my content. Whereas public access level makes it like who can access the data. I'll make it as blob level access so anybody can read the videos or audios I store in it. So choose the access as blob and click on create to create a container. Container name is my content. Let's click this. So this is my container. There is an upload button. Let me try to click this one. See, I'll try to upload some data. Let's say I'll click browse. So you can get any data whichever you have in your environment. It could be a document, a video, a picture, or anything. For example, let's say I take a small video. I'll upload a video. I'll just upload a video. It's around 4 MB in size. Let's wait. So this will store your data block by block, so it will take some time. And you know, once your upload becomes successful, Ravi, this is not designed for database. This one you can use it for any binary data as discussed earlier. But yes, you can store tables in it. Storage account has a feature called table storage where you can store structured NoSQL tables, but not a relational or NoSQL DB. For that, we have separate choices. Did we some Azure test environment before to migrate into production real scenario? Yes, of course, Vinith. You need a test environment where you should do the test cases and everything before you do the migration. So that's something you'll understand when you go for high-level cases on this. Now see this. Welcome.mp4, the video I uploaded us here. Let's go to this. So this one, if I see on clicking it, I get a URL. Suppose I copy the URL. Just in case I browse the URL, see this is a video. The moment I browse the video, I could be capable of streaming this video online. See, it's a video I stored in the URL of mine, and I have a feature where I can stream this video online, and that's the benefit of this. That's the benefit of an Azure Blob storage. That's a container. Now you can store audio, video, and everything, and you can access this way. And moreover, if you close this in your storage account on the left side, you can see there are various options in which you have workbooks. So using this workbooks, you can monitor the performance and all the factors of your container. Like if you say storage account overview, if I pick this one, a detailed overview about my storage account in terms of transactions that happen. Let's say latency, availability, total data transfer, everything you can track. So this is a way we can monitor. So failures or performance related info in the workbooks you can track, which is definitely a benefit for management. So this is only for the non-structured binary data like audios, videos, and etc., not for a DB. Yes, Vinith, you can try all the free services that are available. I can deploy metrics. Yes, Anthony, you can do that.
Hi, Nishant. Okay, like, do you have the same type of metric information for VM or for the remaining like the VPN services?
I think that's an advanced one, but yes, for a VM you have. I mean, you're asking about the metrical visualization, right?
Right, exactly.
In a VM, if you go to workbooks on the left side, you can find workbooks here. Like let's say overview of virtual machine metrics. If you pick, then you can see this.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Now the last demo we have creating a SQL Server database and querying with a DB. Okay, Ravi, the data in the storage account for your information by default, backup is something that you can specify on an interval basis, which is your responsibility. But disaster recovery for the data, it's taken by Azure. So in the event of any disaster, Azure will help you to recover the data with their recovery mechanisms. So you have the choice. Okay, load this now. So this demo is to create a DB along with the server, and we'll also query the DB by using some sample queries, which is the demo. And this is the query where top 10 data will query from the DB and see the outputs. That's something I'll walk you through. Now follow me up to do this. To create a SQL Server DB, you can go to create a resource. You can see SQL database you have. I'll directly pick this one. The same resource group and same subscription, I'll create new for now. Let's say SQL underscore RG, SQL resource group as my resource group. DB name, my DB, I'll name it. And server, let's say I'll click create new button to create a server. Let's say Kishore DB server, I'll name it, which means Kishore database server. Then username and password, same like what I gave for VM, my name and Azure at the rate of 12345. I'll give that as password. Now let this be same east-west. I'll click OK. So now in east-to-west, your DB and the DB server logically gets created. Let it be. Other details will skip it. If you just click next button for networking, so I want to make an access to this DB, but by default the server will block it. So we'll allow this. That is net connectivity method. I'll say public endpoint and allow, that is add current IP address. I'll make this option as yes. So currently whatever the IP I have now in my browser, whatever the IP I'm using, this IP will get whitelisted in the firewall of the database server, so I can connect to the DB for querying the data. Then I'll click next. So additional settings, I'll go with the backup. So I'll go with some sample here. So there's I can find some data in the DB to query it. So I'll pick the option as sample, where this will give me some sample data. Now I'll click on review plus create, which makes a final validation of everything. And I click create. This creates a SQL Server DB now, a relational database. But the point is, Azure is maintaining the complete virtual machine, installing the SQL Server, managing backups and everything. You as an end user, you just use it. You don't manage anything. So that's what we're going to see now. Let's wait. So this will be an example of PaaS. So Rohan, the SQL Server DB, container instance, web app, all these are examples of platform as a service for you. Welcome. So here we go. The deployment is getting done now. In a moment, we'll get it done where we can now query to the DB and find if we can find the data which we want, which is possible. So an inbuilt querying tool in the portal itself you have for a DB. So here we go. On clicking go to resource, I can see my DB. See, this is my DB, and this is the server URL which you can use. Now let me connect to the DB. So you have query editor in the left side. Let's say if I use it, I can connect with the valid username and password. Since I said to whitelist my IP of my machine in the networking menu while creating it, if I now click on OK and try to connect, it will connect directly with the username and password. I think the password is wrong. Azure at 12345. See now, I'm into the DB. For example, we have a query. Select top 20 pc.name as category name, where p.name is particularly as product name from the sales LT. That's particularly my sales LT table, and that the product category as PC. And we are joining that, and we are giving an outcome which could be equivalent to this product category ID. Just a simple query. Let's say I run this. See now. So category name and then product name, followed by that their IDs, along with that just a sample data it shows you. Let's say select star from Let's say I'll pick this sales customer. If I run this query now, you can see again. So data from the sales, we can find it. Just an example that you can query the tables and it has data in it, which is an understanding part. So these were your 6 demos of the topic of module 2 that we discussed now. So if you have any doubts in these demos, you can let me know. And I expect that all of you will be completing these 6 demos before you come back and join to the next session. And is there any question from anyone until now first?